Greetings and salutations all, it's Mike Jones here, back at you on the Lifestyle Management channel. You know what, today I want to talk to you about something, I don't really touch too much upon, like sexual health. It is a valid form of health. We all like to have sex. So today I'm going to talk to you about some foods that actually decrease your libido. You hear me? Kill the libido, okay? And these foods are all in our kitchen, very common foods that we just had no idea did that to us. Today we're suffering from a lot of erectile dysfunction and infertility, so I thought I would make this video to tell you about those dangerous foods that you want to get out the kitchen, to help you live a happier, more prosperous life. The first food I want to talk about is salt. Okay, it's not the healthy sea salt. We're talking about your basic table salt, the one you see at every restaurant that you probably have in your house. Okay, so you might want to think twice about reaching for those salty chips and snacks and stuff that we all love, because there's a high sodium content, and that leads to high blood pressure. Okay, and if you have high blood pressure, it causes erectile dysfunction. You see me? Okay, so let's get rid of the table salt. Okay, second one we have is canned foods. We have a cupboard full of canned foods, and I'm sure you've heard all the research and everything on the news talking about how canned foods are not good for you because they contain BPA. Okay, it's very toxic to the system. And again, we eat out of canned foods all the time, so that's why I always try to tell people it's best to eat your fruits and veggies, whatever it may be, in its raw, natural form. Okay, but again, back to the canned foods. If you're exposed to like high levels of BPA over a period of time, you're 4 times more likely to have erectile dysfunction and ejaculation problems just by eating canned food. Isn't that crazy? We're so misinformed with our foods for so long, and now there's some light being shined on us. So again, get rid of the canned foods. And lastly, trans fats, or I like to call the unhealthy fats, or the fast food fats. Pretty much any kind of fast food out there, they use trans fats. They actually outlaw trans fats in New York, which I think is great. Kind of shows you how progressive they are. But if a whole entire state gets rid of trans fats, it kind of lets you know there might be something wrong with it. It's really bad for your heart health. Because again, it's trans fat, unhealthy fat. It's going to clog all the valves in your heart and your blood vessels. Kind of lets the blood not flow as freely. And last time I checked, for erections you need blood flow. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Stay away from the trans fats. That's like your Western oil, your typical oil that you would find at the grocery store. I always try to tell people, if you're going to do oil, there's olive oil, peanut oil, hemp oil. There's all kinds of different oils out there, besides your typical trans fat, Western oil. So again, these 3 foods, salt, canned foods, and trans fat, can definitely kill your libido. So let's go ahead and just take them out the kitchen so we can have vibrant sexual health. There it is, plain and simple. All right, everyone, this is Mike Jones, Lifestyle Management channel. Oh, yes, don't forget, go upstairs, subscribe to my channel, and also visit my website, MikeJonesToday.com. And if you sign up for our newsletter, I'm giving away a $50 gift certificate to buy supplements. Isn't that great? $50 just by you signing up, putting your email on my website, and so you can actually stay abreast of everything that's going on in health and wellness. Again, Mike Jones, Lifestyle Management channel. Subscribe. Clicking down below at MikeJonesToday.com and get your $50 gift certificate. All right, everyone. I want you to have a healthy day. And again, let's get rid of the food out the kitchen. All right, everyone. Take care.